Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Makah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Worst is yet to come. Retailers fortify stores as election chaos nears. Okay, this is from Zero Hedge. Okay, and basically is going into this anticipation for chaos, all right, or riots, and they're basically uh, um, comparing it to George Floyd's, death and how people were rioting and looting. And so these stores are basically saying, you know what, we're not taking that chance. We're gonna fortify, so on and so forth. Which, with all the hype around it, something can happen, nothing can happen. But we just have to, watch and see. So it says, as the U.S. presidential election draws near, city governments and federal and local law enforcement across the country are preparing for social unrest around the election on November 3rd. Reuters has learned that it's not just government, or it's not just the government, at all levels preparing for what could be another round of chaos on the streets of big cities, but also corporate America has gathered intel that shows their storefronts could be in danger. Reuters spoke with Aon PLC, the world's largest insurance broker, who said many of their retail clients are mulling over the idea that they must prepare for social chaos around the elections. Aon executive Marianne Burke said 70% of their retail clients had their stores boarded up in May and June during nationwide protests. Many of them have already started or will likely soon begin boarding up for a second time. Okay? So they're already in that mindset that, it's to them it's a given. Regardless of how it goes, there's something, so there's bound to be something, all right, some form of civil unrest, and they're not trying to take the chances, of just leaving their stores open like that. And when you see certain stores, when you walk past them, all right, they'll have either boards, okay, the wooden boards, all right, covering all the windows, all right, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now it says like this, yeah, like this image right here. You'll see stuff like this covering any avenue that you can break through. Okay. Now it says Jonathan Wood, a lead analyst at consultancy firm Control Risks, wrote in recent assessment that companies operating in the U.S. should anticipate the risk of social unrest and political violence to remain elevated before, during, and after the upcoming presidential election. And who knows, man? This one might get lethal. Okay, being that more and more, the vibration is pushing more and more to that precept in Second Ezra that said what? One people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands, meaning weapons. Okay? Because yeah, they could come with bricks and words and cardboard posters and so on and so forth, but it gets to the point where, they just, because some of these open carry states, they have a lot of quote unquote militia groups in there who are, they believe the solution to everything is with guns. All right. So it says, you'd be foolish to think the worst is over. We all watch the news, said Bob Moraca, principal at Rock Security Group and former vice president of loss prevention for the National Retail Federation. So it says you'd be foolish to think the worst is over. Okay? Because even they see that, man, this thing is only about to get worse. All right, it's only getting started, and America is going under, man. Okay, it's quickly becoming a third world country. All right, it's going under because they're getting ready for that global reset. Okay, so they need to take down this current system, this infrastructure. All right, threats threats of unrest were seen months before George Floyd protests. And you know what this is also going to do? The more and more they tear into these stores and tear down these businesses, guess what that affects? The economy. Okay? You have a lot of people that are now, some can't go to work for those that used to commute to work, okay? Because it's dangerous in the streets or the workplace has been destroyed, okay? And that also affects, because this economy is already on this on its way out, all right? And so more and more destruction is only going to speed that up. It says retailers. We noted as early as March 30th, retailers across the country boarded up storefronts due to the virus pandemic. Would due to the virus pandemic would unleash a social economic bomb. All right, as history will show, the first round of riots were some of the worst in decades, if not in more than half a century. Okay, and that was over George Floyd. This is over the presidency. You know, how many countries, all right, have you heard about, how many situations have you heard about where they completely, the people completely tear up the whole country, all right, because of a botched election? It says, for more clarity on what retailers are doing to prepare for the possible chaos surrounding the election, while no retailer directly told Reuters of their plans, the media outlet spoke with construction scaffolding provider Star Industries, who said they're on standby with major retailers in NYC to provide custom barriers around storefronts. All right, because you see, they learn, all right, a lot of these retail stores are like, man, after what happened the first round, we not taking no chances. But you know what this looks like, man? This looks, man, I just thought about it. Let's pull it up. This looks just like Purge election year. Um, damn. Let me see. Lockdown scene. Hopefully they'll show it. Cause there's a scene in there. All right, when they actually, yeah. All right, it might be this one. I'm not sure. But there's a scene when everybody starts getting, ready. They start locking things down. People are barricading. Some people, their barricades look like this right here, because they couldn't afford, more expensive ones. Okay, and that's what it looks like. They're all locking down, getting ready, and it sounds like the election is like that siren, that announcement that, all crime is now legal, or whatever the case may be. Let's take a look at this. Let's see if it's this one.
This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge, sanctioned by the U.S. government. Commencing at this siren, any and all crime, including murder, will be legal for 12 continuous hours.
Here we go.
Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be unavailable until tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. And, for the first time since its inception, no one has been granted special immunity from the purge. No citizen or group will be exempt. Blessed.
All right, they're not showing what the scene that I was looking for. But anyway, when you watch the actual movie Purge Election Year, there's a scene in there when they announced the lockdowns and whatever form of protection you can afford. Okay, that's what people had. Okay, that's all they could use. Okay, and if it was weak, it was weak. But anyway, the message is this quote unquote preparation. All right, is that we're reading about here in this article is what reminded me of that purge scene. Okay, but because the purge will happen. But see, the thing is, when it happens in real life, it's not gonna be 12 hours. It's not gonna be one day. It's gonna be for a longer period of time. Because this is not a quote unquote official purge. Hey, I'm allowing you to purge. All right, it's just like an indirect purge by circumstances instead of a vocal announcement. So it says, because of the election, they are worried that the same thing will happen, said Marion Bobelia, Star's president. He would not say which companies retained on-call protection services. Riot Glass founder Brad Campbell said his firm had installed specially reinforced windows at hundreds of U.S. retail stores ahead of election. Everybody wants something done before the election, said Campbell, and that's what less than 2 weeks away. Okay, so it says Alumatic Pacific Products, which provides retailers with security doors, told Reuters that demand for liquor stores and marijuana shops is surging ahead of November. Not too long ago, we noted how DOJ and FBI have started preparing for a wide range of scenarios for election night violence. You hear that? A wide range of scenarios. Okay, so we can look out for that. Because most of the time, all right, when they do things like this, they can either use it as a pump fake where it gets all hyped up and nothing really happens, or it gets hyped up and something does happen but it dies down. Okay, but sometimes when things happen, it's set up by them. That's why it says a wide range of scenarios. Some they might do some out if they do some outlandish thing, then it's gonna be justified by them. You're gonna see, oh, now I see why they were preparing for these different scenarios, you know, and it's all in the name of bringing chaos and bringing order out of the chaos. Even ordinary Americans are bugging out. You hear that? Key word, bugging out. As a matter of fact, let's get a quick precept. Okay, you don't see us bugging out. All right, and I mean, given things haven't really popped off yet, but even still, okay, this is gonna apply, which it already applies now, but it'll apply that much more in that time of fear and confusion. Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. You see, when somebody doesn't know, like these people, they don't know how bad it could get. That's why they know it's going to be bad, but they don't know how bad it could get. So they're very afraid, But with what we've been given with the scriptures, we understand that it's going to be on a height never seen before. So we expect that. Yes, it's going to be bad. Yes, it's going to be scary, but we still expect it. So we're still stable in our minds because we know that what it's going to turn up more and more and more. So we don't bug out. We're not frightened and scared and trying to find our grandmothers to go live with them in some secluded mountain range somewhere because we don't want to. That's not. Look, man, wherever you at, if the Lord is with you, he's with you. Okay, the Lord doesn't. Your protection from the Lord isn't based on your geographical location. Whether you in the woods or you in the city or wherever you at. Okay. So it says, because pursuant to Ezekiel 9:4, the elect have a mark of exemption from judgment. Okay, when you think of judgment as being left to chance, that's when you get scared. But things don't happen by chance. They don't just happen. Everything that happens is sanctioned. So whether all hell breaks loose or not, that's sanctioned by the Lord. Now, when all hell breaks loose, whether something happens to you or not, that's sanctioned by the Lord. You could be sleeping in the woods. You could be walking in the middle of the woods, dark as hell, dangerous wild animals out. Nothing is going to happen unless the Lord sanctions it. If the Lord says, have a wild mountain lion tear this guy's ass up, that's what is going to happen. It's not like, oh, what if a wild mountain lion tears my ass up? No, the Lord has to give the order before that happens. So if he doesn't give the order, you could be sleeping in the middle of the woods, dark as hell, and nothing will happen to you. Okay? Because things are not left up to chance. They don't just happen. The Lord gives permission before anything can happen. Okay? So knowing that, you have stability. You know that you can, wait, what did King David say? Do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? I shall fear, all right, no evil. Roughly paraphrasing, because we understand that death and life are in the hands of the Lord. So it says, Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Because it's what the wisdom and knowledge of these scriptures, all right, is what's going to give us the hope, all right, and allow us the strength to keep the faith onto salvation. It says the fear of the Lord is his treasure. And what is the fear of the Lord? Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Okay, so now going back to the article, it says, all right, here we are. Even ordinary Americans are bugging out on top of metro areas ahead of the election. A chain of U.S. survival communities has activated camps. Okay, read that part again. A chain of U.S. survival communities has activated camps for its members, stockpiled with an abundance of weapons and ammo and years worth of food. Very interesting. You see, but understand that you have certain of these survival communities, those that are in there that are not of the elect, all right, that rely on these carnal means. Oh shit, that's the first place we gotta go. We gotta run to these camps. You know what I'm saying? And get some of them guns to protect ourselves and get some of them foods, that food to eat. Man, that's not what's going to deliver you, man. Yeah, food is going to be good. It's going to keep you full. Okay. But what if you can't get to that camp? You know? If the election is contested, as the latest fund manager survey from BOFA reveals, it wouldn't just result in volatility in markets, but as we mentioned above, unrest on the streets. It says this is a poll that says Exhibit 11. Do you think the U.S. election outcome will be contested? What's that? Over 60 percent, I believe this might be in percentage, say roughly a little over 60% say yes, and roughly a little under 30% say no. Okay. It says hopefully election unrest in November is just overhyped scaremongering. If not, then it certainly makes sense why everyone is preparing. So, hey, we're going to have to see, man. But like I said, this is very, very, very similar to Purge election year. Everybody was preparing, all right? And the center right now that is it keeps being mentioned is chaos on election night, civil unrest on election night. Civil unrest and chaos is the purge. Okay? But let's and then as we're seeing with these stores, all right, they're all getting ready. Okay, so now this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, the grinders cease because they are few. And as you're seeing, a lot of these stores are going under. Okay, that means what? People are losing jobs, and that's why unemployment rates are going up so much. Okay, it says, and those that look out the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets. Okay, what is this? This is an example of the doors being shut in the streets. No openings, no allow, no way of entrance in. Okay. Now, let's say something is going on. You get caught up out there. How you gonna get in here? You running, you banging on different doors. Help, help! Ain't nobody opening up. Okay. It says when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music of music shall be brought low. Okay, so we are in that time, man. All right, and we know that regardless of when this thing kicks off, it will, and when it does, it's gonna be like a time like never before, pursuant to Jeremiah 30:7, okay, and Daniel the 12th chapter, the first verse. Okay, we are coming into a time like never before, and it's not never before in a good way. All right, so prepare for that. All right, so Lord willing, you were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakha, Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.